Okay, so let me share my screen and we're going to do that. All right, so I did talk a little bit, oops, I don't know why this came up here. There we go. About picking color schemes for your mandalas. I use mandalas a lot to teach color. Color is really super important in art. So you want to make sure, you know, this is a way of learning a little bit in depth about color. Here is a simple color wheel. It's they're using triangles instead of just dots or whatever. You know, it can be done in many different ways. Plus, I just want to point out that they use different colors here: vermilion, amber, chartreuse, teal. You'll see these tertiary, these third colors, different names. You know, blue purple would be another name for violet. Blue green would be another name for teal. So you've got your primary colors, right? Red, blue, and yellow. Your secondary colors, which are green, orange, and purple. And then you have tertiary colors that are these third colors around the color wheel. So, so a scheme is just an idea of what your colors are in a specific piece of artwork. So there are some major color schemes in art. They are analogous, complementary, split complementary, triadic, rectangular, and monochromatic. There's also things like pastel color scheme, or a warm color scheme, or a cool color scheme, or an earthy color scheme. So there's, in addition, the major ones are the ones that I just mentioned, we'll go over, and then we'll be adding these others into your choices if you wish. So they use certain colors on the color wheels, and then those others that I just mentioned are definitely a little mix of colors. They're not necessarily associated to where things lie on the color wheel. So we'll start with analogous color scheme. They use colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So you can see how there's this blue, this green, and a lighter green right here. So generally it's 3 colors, but it could be more. You could expand it to this other blue, or you can expand it over to yellow, but they would just be following each other, next to each other on the color wheel. The second one we have is complementary, or well, here's an example of analogous colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Anyone know who did this painting? No? Okay, this is a Monet painting. He was a French impressionist, painted like the end of the 1800s into the early 1900s. He actually, this is his backyard basically, as he was a pretty famous painter, made a lot of money, got to own a beautiful piece of property in France, and this was his backyard. So then so we have complementary colors. Complementary are across from each other on the color wheel. So just directly across from each other. So red and green are complementary colors. Purple and yellow are complementary colors. Blue and orange. They are colors that when you put next to it, if you've ever experienced this, they can be a little vibrating. It's the way your brain is processing the color. It can be annoying, but it kind of can give you a interesting combination of colors. Here's an example of that. So we've got yellows and blues, basically, even though there are different shades of yellow, but you've got this blue over here and then all this yellow happening over here. And this is a Van Gogh painting. Then you have split complementary color schemes. And they're based on picking one color, and then instead of it complementary straight across, you'll divide the top and just move one space over. So we have this light green and this moving towards an orange yellow. So not quite a pure yellow, but moving it over, and their base would be the purple. And here's an example of that. Another Monet painting. You've got three colors happening here. You've got this green, this orange, and the blue. So then there's the triadic, which is different than the split. What happens is you pick a color on the color wheel, and then you divide that color wheel into three, basically. So here you have 4 spaces, gives you from the purple gives you green, and then 4 more spaces will give you the orange. And so that would give you 3 different colors to be dealing with. And here's an example of that. There's these blue color that he's got going on here. He's got this yellow color happening, and it's happening here in the bread, a little bit, a little bit on the wall. And then he's got this red color down here, red orange, that's happening here in the skirt and in the floor and in this jug of water and stuff here. So, I mean, there's varying tones of these colors throughout. Here's a darker blue, and here's a lighter blue here. Here's a darker yellow, here it is again, and then there's a lighter yellowish within here, and then it fades over to white. So even though there's primarily 3 colors, it still has different hues or different values so that it can show you the images clearly. Here's a rectangular color scheme. You could take a rectangle and you can move this anywhere around the color wheel. So this one's a purple, a magenta, a kind of light orange, and a light green. So you can move that around. You can pick this blue, this green, this orange, and this red. However, but this is a rectangular shape that would be on the color wheel that you would choose the colors from that. So it could be a little hard to manage with that because you have so many different colors to choose from. Here is an example of that. You've got yellows, greens, blues, and this kind of reddish color, which actually is brown into here. So then you have monochromatic. Monochromatic is one color, and then its saturation and value changes. And that changes by adding white or black to it. The darker, here's like, say, the true color. This is showing you adding white, and it gets lighter and lighter as you add white. If you added black, it would get darker and darker. So here's an example of a monochromatic painting. It's just basically a blue painting. There's you can kind of pick out maybe some greens in here a little bit and a little bit of purple right here. And that's used to kind of add depth or light to the painting. But basically it's a blue painting. And what about brown? So I talked a little bit about earthy colors, and you would think brown would be a big earthy color. So brown is a composite color, and generally it's used by mixing red, yellow, and black, or orange and black. So brown is basically a darker shade of orange. And it usually doesn't show up on the color wheel, but it's considered a warm color or an earthy tone color. So here's a color wheel that would show those things that I didn't really point out too much because they're schemes in a sense, but not really following a color wheel. But here is brown, and it would be in the orange area. And it would be, if you split this, I'll talk a little bit more about warm and cool colors, but it would be on the warm side of the color wheel. So warm and cool, here you go. You got yellows, reds, oranges, and a really light purple going on here, or red purple. And then on the other side, the cool colors are greens, blues, and a darker purple. There's also the idea of the psychology of color. People make a whole entire career out of trying to understand the psychology of color. I just wanted to throw that in there because it's kind of interesting to think about what you do and how people feel about color. And then therefore how people would feel about your artwork. You know, maybe somebody just loves purple and you have a monochromatic purple artwork, you know, people would be like, oh, I love that. A lot of when you color your, when you choose colors for your house, you know, there's a lot of different ideas about how you should paint your kitchen and how you should paint your bedroom. You know, it should be calm colors in your bedroom and bright colors in your kitchen. So there should be stuff like that. So here's a little bit more about the color psychology. You know, red is passion and anger and danger, and orange is creativity, activity. Yellow was energy and light and hope. Green is health, nature, and wealth. I mean, some of these kind of combine creativity. Purple, orange and purple are creativity. Blue, security, spirituality. So there's different things that people have come up with about the psychology of color. So here is another color wheel for you guys to understand. It kind of breaks it up to primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. And this here, the colors, you know, yellow, green, green, yellow, yellow, orange, orange. The words, the descriptives are a little bit clearer instead of using chartreuse or teal. You have a little bit better, clear descriptive of those colors. Some vocabulary for you to understand. Hue is another word for color. Saturation is how pure the color is. So you can reduce the saturation of color by adding gray or the opposite on the color wheel. So that will kind of kill the color a little bit. Tone is used to describe a color that's not its pure hue. So if you have pink, pink is actually a tone of red. And then value is how light or dark the color is. So we talked a little bit about value when in the beginning of the school year, when we did a grayscale. So you have that. So that is basically your color schemes that you can choose from. So then I did ask you all to decide on what you were going to pick. And if anybody has an idea of what they want, go ahead and let me know. I'm going to back this up a little bit. And so I'm just going to go down the list. I'm going to ask you what kind of color scheme you would like. And if you want me to choose, let me know. All right, so Ryan, you seem to be sitting there on the top. Do you have an idea or do you want me to choose? No? All right, how about, we'll go here, Ankita.
I don't know what I want to do.
You don't know?
No, I don't.
Do you want me to choose for you?
Sure.
All right, so let's go with complementary colors.
Okay.
Do you know they are the opposite on the color wheel? Now don't be afraid to, you know, you don't have to use just two colors. You can use different values of those colors. So if it's orange and purple, you can use a lighter purple and a darker orange. You don't have to be just singularly two colors.
Okay.
Brandon, how about you? Do you know? No? Okay, how about Bruce?
Not yet.
Say that again.
Not yet.
Okay, do you want me to choose for you?
Sure.
Why don't you go monochromatic in blue?
Okay.
So again, different shades of blue is what you're looking for.
Okay.
Did you call me in the beginning? I didn't know if you said Ryan.
I did. Right.
Oh, can you choose for me?
Sure. Why don't you do, let's see, let me look over here. Why don't you do a triadic? Do you know what that is?
No, but
Okay.
I can look it up.
I'm gonna share my screen again. It's hard for me to juggle my screen like this, but let's go back here. Let me go to share here. All right, so if you can see that right now, the triadic is you are picking 3 colors and they were equally separated on the color wheel. So if you pick this purple, you count over 4, then you get a green, you count over 4, you get this orange, and then your 4 more would be back to the purple. Okay?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be these. You know, your triangle could start here at the blue. It doesn't have to be this particular triangle. You can move that triangle around. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So then, oh, this is so. Let's see. Mark, how about you?
Can you pick mine?
Okay, so let's go through this particular, how about complementary?
Oh, okay.
So those are just colors across from each other
All right.
on the color wheel.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Michael Toner.
I think I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, tell me.
I think I'm gonna go for a, what's that called? Monochromatic.
Uh-huh.
And I think I'm gonna use green.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let's see how I can go through here. Kushi.
I might do the rectangular color scheme.
Okay, that'd be great because that's one that people don't really use very much. So that's good. Okay. I don't know how to navigate this. All right, Jewel.
Can I do the monochromatic red?
Yep. Okay, Tommy.
Can you pick for me, Miss Neal?
Yeah. Why don't we go with, let's see. How about cool colors?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, cool being reds and blue, or yeah, red, no, not red. Blues and greens and purples.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. How about, let's see, who else do we have here? Roshni.
Could you pick for me?
Yep, we're gonna go with warm.
Okay.
Eddie, do you know what you want?
Decide my fate for me.
Decide your fate? Okay. How about, let's see. How about split complementary?
Okay.
So those, see, I have it up here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So instead of complementary straight across, you're just going to pick one, and then you're
And
going to go to either side of that.
Okay.
All right.
Also, I've been doing other stuff, so I haven't been able to start this yet. Where can I find the shape that has the different sections. It's all I can find is one split up into 4 sections, and that's it.
What do you mean, your circle, when you start your circle? Oh, so when you start your circle, you should, if you pick the line tool, you should be able to, here, let me go here real quick. Let me see what I got here. Here, I'll go here. When you have your line tool here, and
Okay, so I was just drawing the lines in myself then.
see how it comes up with those sections?
Yeah.
So those dots are just giving me the equal breakdown. On your cell phone, I don't know how that's going to work.
No, I'm doing it on Google Draw on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So-
should I add myself then?
Okay, so when you pick that line, and see how mine always jumps back over to the pointer, but if I move it over with the line, it'll divide it up for me.
Okay.
And then you just draw those lines out. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now back. Michael Revel. Do you know what color you would want? All right, not there. Let's see. Jada.
Can you pick one for me?
Sure. Why don't you do the rectangular one? This one right here.
Okay, thank you.
So you would pick 4 colors that fit a rectangle on the color wheel. Kelly.
I was thinking monochromatic purple.
Okay. Okay, Brandon, are you there? No. Okay, Trinity.
Can I do blues?
Can you do what?
Blue.
Monochromatic blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right. See. Michael. Mikhail, I mean. You know what we're up to? Or how about Holly? No? Holly, Mikhail, who else did I not get to choose from? All right, so you guys are supposed to be paying attention to me. I'm a little distressed. Druvi, okay, you're gonna do cool. Okay, you guys can chat with me about that. All right, who else is up here?
Can you go back to the color wheel so I can take a picture of it? Miss Small, can you go back to the color wheel so I can take a picture of it?
Uh-huh. You know, I will post this on your I will post this on your Schoology class, but that's the one you want. Let me share that. I did stop sharing. All right. See it?
Yep. If you can take a picture of it real quick so I can see how it is.
Okay. And again, like I said, I'm going to put that up on your Schoology thing. All right. So Mikhail, Holly, Michael, Rebel, and Brandon. Still waiting. And oh wait, Kushi.
I already told you mine.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry. It's a little confusing. Okay, anybody else that I missed that wants to pick a color or have me pick it for you? I've got 18 people. How many people are here? 19. I'm missing somebody. All right. So this assignment will be due tomorrow. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right. So, like I said, I will post this PowerPoint so you have all this reference for you, and I will post the assignment today on Schoology. So if nobody has any questions and you know your color scheme, I'm going to say you can go. If you do not know your color scheme, I would like for you to stay and let me know.